I'm sick of them still blaming Trump. Somehow people are like, well, Trump wanted to get out of Afghanistan. Yeah, he did. But he had a contingency plan, and he had a proper plan in place to get rid of all of the Americans from Afghanistan first, and then slowly move our troops out, not just in the dead of the night. Everyone out. And the Taliban's are like, oh, they're all gone. I guess we can go take this spot now. Look, the weapons are still here. Look, there's jets. Look, there's helicopters. They hate Trump so much that they would rather have this train wreck of an administration and be proud of it. Hashtag I stand with Biden. You want to look at some cringiness? Go ahead and click on that hashtag. It is bad. These people are defending his horrible, horrible decision making and running away on vacation. It's bonkers. But look at this. This is a report from ZeroHenge. Top Google engineer abandons company. Reveals big tech rewrote algorithms to target Trump. Just listen to that. I mean, duh. Really? Right? I mean, duh. Of course. Of course they did that. That's not even a surprise. We knew this. I'm sure the algorithms are screwing over anyone that is in Trump's favor, including me. Because they don't want anyone listening to that man speak. They need to squash all patriots. They're making patriots synonymous with terrorists. And that's what these crazy leftists believe. They really, really believe it. And it's because of companies like Google doing exactly this. A big tech whistleblower said Google altered its algorithm in order to ensure that negative stories from the establishment media about former President Donald Trump were what people saw when using the highest trafficked website on the internet. Wow. Color me shocked. I'm so surprised. That's amazing. Wow. Can you believe it, people? Ugh. Zach Voorhees, who previously worked at Google, said in an interview with the Epoch Times that the tech titan specifically tailored its news algorithm to harm the former president. Okay. Right off the bat, if that's true, that's an attack on our nation. That's manipulating the American public. That is propaganda to the highest level. You know what? I can't say you because I feel a lot of my fans, a lot of my people that watch my show probably know the truth about Donald Trump and know that he was a pretty decent president, actually. One of the better presidents of our time. Maybe the best president of my lifetime. I mean that wholeheartedly. I'm in my 30s, so there's not many presidents to go on, especially as my adult life, and even more so my awakened mind of paying attention. But either way, this is amazing. The fact that someone who worked at Google said, look, they did this. They attacked the sitting president of the United States of America. That's a problem. Voorhees has written a book about his experience working at Google. He said he wanted to take conspiracy theory and turn it into conspiracy fact by sharing the practices he saw as a longtime former employee working on both Google and YouTube projects. It gets deeper. Also YouTube, huh? I mean, they're owned by the same parent company, aren't they? People kind of suspect this is happening, that certain keywords trigger things within the algorithm. That is actually happening, he told the Times, noting that newly written stories about Trump were digitally married with older ones to ensure they remained at the top of the search results. They actually have that. They show like a graph, a tree, and they say, actually, this forms a super story that spans 8 days, he says. Quote, so with the Trump slash former FBI director James Comey thing, the Trump Comey thing, they're able to keep the stories boosted all the way at the top because the algorithm was able to fold a news story into the stories that were preceding it at least 5 days, Voorhees added. They allowed the mainstream media to structure their stories so that they could remain at the top of the search index of their news index, he continues. Voorhees' new book is called Google Leaks, a whistleblower's expose of big tech censorship. The book dropped earlier this month. Quote, the madness of big tech and their attempt to mold our reality into a version compatible with their globalist view of the world has never been portrayed better than in this chilling account by Google whistleblower. The book's listing on Amazon states. This, of course, reads like a book infomercial, but that's fine because the fact remains this is a whistleblower from Google that is blowing the whistle on the fact that they have been manipulating the algorithms. I mean, we all knew this, right? Just as they said, people kind of suspected this to be happening. Yeah, of course. But here's someone who actually worked there and is capitalizing. Good, use your knowledge. That's kind of what capitalism is good for. Selling the thing that people want from you. Good for him. I almost want to get it because I want to know more about this. As a senior engineer at Google for many years, Zach was aware of their biases, but watched in horror as the 2016 election of Donald Trump seemed to drive them into dangerous territory. The American ideal of an honest, hard-fought battle of ideas, when the contest is over, shaking hands and working together to solve problems, was replaced by a different, darker, ethic alien of this country's history. And that's really the shame about Timcast IRL, because Tim and I had that. We didn't agree. We walked away at the end of every episode laughing, and that fell apart. Now, why it fell apart, whatever. But that line right there, that sentence I just read, really makes me think about it. I'll let you put two and two together there. It is unclear what, if anything, the DOJ did with those documents. Voorhees also made the documents public with the help of Project Veritas in 2019. Shout out to Project Veritas. The former employee previously told Project Veritas and founder James O'Keefe how he was able to get a hold of the documents from his former employee in 2019. These documents were available to every single employee within the company that was full-time. And so, as a full-time employee at the company, I just searched some keywords and these documents started to pop up, he said. And so once I started finding one document and started finding keywords for other documents, I would enter that in and continue this cycle until I had a treasure trove, an archive of documents that clearly spelled out the system, what they're attempting to do in a very clear language. Voorhees spoke at the Conservative Political Action Conference earlier this year alongside O'Keefe and Project Veritas. James O'Keefe is a very nice guy. I got to meet him, luckily, when I was still at the Castle. And I am always interested in what they do. It's called Project Truth for a reason. They've blown the whistle on many, many things. Election fraud and big tech censorship. Pretty much those two things, especially, mainstream media mixing and manipulating. But this kind of thing we are way, way past the line of dangerous territory. I mean, and they said it earlier, it was in 2016, they started getting into dangerous territory. That was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, they started getting into dangerous territory. Where are we now? Where are we now? Is it too late to go back? Is it, who knows? Right? We're in uncharted waters right now with authoritarian measures taking over the planet. Look at Australia. Look at New Zealand. They had one case and they locked down the country. Australia's, God, my goodness, they're locking everything down. They're force vaccinating children in droves, like cattle through an arena. Thousands upon thousands of children. And promised to their parents, your kids will be fine. You can't even be with your parents. You are brought through like cattle. And that is absolutely disgusting. It's craziness. I mean, are we next in America? I don't know. I don't know, man.